Hey, my beloved son. The question today is public school good for your son? Question answered today. Tonight. Let's start with you can't learn writing, parenting, public speaking at school. Or if you let your son study at public school, right? Most dad send his kids to public school to learn math, to learn science, to learn history. But the question here is if your son is a writer, does he really need to learn those three subjects? It doesn't make sense, right? And the problem is not you. The problem here is letting your son study at public school. Maybe because you don't have time to to find expert writers to teach your son write newsletter persuasively. You don't have time to look for expert public speaker. You don't have time to look for football coach for your son, right? You don't have time. Why? You're busy working to earn money so you can support him financially so he can eat protein, rice, milk, coffee, right? And that's valid, son. But what happens to you if you study at public school? Of course, you will not learn writing, public speaking, parenting at school. Why? Because it's not taught at primary school. What are you learning at school, seriously? Math, science, history. I mean, do you really need those, right? Second, you are surrounded with kids, and kids can be mean, disrespectful, rude, bully. You are surrounded with bully classmates, and worse, bully teachers, terrors. And you are surrounded with sugars, Coca-Cola, soft drinks, junk foods, unhealthy foods, right? So when you go to school, public school, you are you are the target. They prepared to get a reaction from you. They are prepared to make you triggered, right? I mean, when you see unhealthy foods like soft drinks, burger, what you see is those unhealthy stuff, and it's either you will buy or you won't, unless you are prepared how to deal with it, how to respond better, right? And you are not just prepared. I mean, if you are a 5-year old, you are not prepared to deal with those bully classmates, those bully teachers, those sugars, those junk foods, right? The people around you will influence you, how they speak bad words, how they speak harsh words, how they treat each other, right? So, is public school really a good choice for your 5-year old son? For you, son, is it really good? Is it worth it? Like, do you really want to be influenced by those bully, by those sugars, by those junk foods? Do you want to be like them, right? So, same thing will happen to your son if you let him study at public school. Why? Because you led him by example. You taught him that public school is okay. Public school is not a big deal. It's the culture, it's the norm. So why are you making a big deal out of it? Seriously, it's what we what we do for centuries. It's okay. It doesn't it it's just the way it is, right? Because your son will do the same thing because you built a home for him where public school learning at public school is the norm, is the culture. But is it really worth it? Right? So if your son won't learn writing, public speaking, parenting, so he grows up what? He grows up surrounded by those bully, by those unhealthy foods. I mean, he could have been he could have been a persuasive writer if you enroll him to Nicholas Cole course or if you let him study with from Nicholas Cole. He could have been helping other kids become kind kids like him if you just give him a chance, to study writing from expert writers, not just non-expert teacher who doesn't even write newsletter on Substack. Like he doesn't deserve he doesn't deserve noisy classmates. He doesn't deserve bully. He doesn't deserve bully classmate, bully teachers. He doesn't deserve distractions like sugars, soft drinks, junk foods, unhealthy stuffs. He doesn't deserve to be surrounded by those distractions and those bully people. He doesn't deserve that. He deserves mentors, right? So, do you really want your son to be surrounded by those kind of people, by those teachers, bully people, bully classmates? Do you want your son to learn nothing at school? I mean, just learn math, algebra. Like what? How can you use algebra when he compares himself? Like it doesn't make sense, right? So what's the solution here? So I know you want him to learn writing faster, to learn public speaking faster, right? So the solution here is homeschool him. Let him study writing at 2 p.m. from Nicholas School. Let him study parenting from All Pro Dad at 3 p.m. Let him write a newsletter at 9 a.m. Let him play football at 5 p.m. Let him practice piano lesson at 6 p.m. Right? So what happens? What happens to you, son? If you homeschool yourself, of course, you will learn writing, public speaking, parenting faster because you are learning from expert now, not just random non-expert. I mean, how can you learn cooking if you are learning from not a chef? If you're learning from a carpenter, right? Doesn't make sense. You learn cooking by a chef. You learn, that's the idea. You learn writing from a writer. You learn public speaking from a public speaker. You learn parenting from expert dads, right? That's how learning works. So public school, you are learning from who? Who are you learning from, right? And if you homeschool yourself, you can focus 100% because you are alone. And I mean you are it's you and your mentor. So you can listen. There's no distraction. There are no noisy classmates. There are no bullies. There are no bully teachers, bully classmates. There are no distractions. Even foods. There are no sugars or junk foods, right? So you don't have to deal with those distractions because you are at home. Your home is safe, right? What else? What happens to you if you homeschool yourself? I think that's much with it. You just learn faster because you are learning from experts now, unlike before, right? So same thing will happen to your son if you let him homeschool, right? He will learn writing faster. He will write persuasive write. He will write persuasive newsletter. He will speak persuasively. And why? Because you lead him by example. You homeschool yourself. Of course, he will homeschool himself too because you lead him by example. You model it. You taught him that homeschool is the best and faster way to learn writing, public speaking faster because you're learning from experts now. And what else? What happens to your son, right? Same thing. And you are giving him you give him opportunity, to be mentored by those writers. So now he will become persuasive writers, helping other kids become kind kids like him. So imagine your son is a great writer, is a great public speaker. That's what he will become because you gave him a chance, to study from experts, not just random people at school who doesn't even have identity, right? I mean, when I say having no identity means are they writer, are they public speaker, or are they what do they teach, something like that. And he deserves, your son deserves one-on-one learning style. He deserves writer mentor, writer public speaker mentor. He deserves mentor. He deserves 100 focus to learn. That's what he deserves. Now, here's how you stay consistent with homeschool, right? So schedule schedule what time he will study writing, public speaking, parenting, for example. 2 p.m. he studies writing at 2 p.m. from Nicholas Gold. He studies parenting at 3 p.m. from Oprah Dad, Bobby Lewis, BJ, Tom, and he, he might learn football from a football coach. I don't have idea right now because there's no football in my place. But in the future, we will figure this out, and that's how you do it. And if your son studies at the same time, I mean, if your son follow that schedule each day at the same time, that's how you know it. That's how you know he builds that habit. For example, if you saw him study writing at 2 p.m., he studies at parenting at 3 p.m. That's how you know. That's how you know, oh, my son built these habits. I don't need to remind him to do this each day. So that's how you know it. And same thing for you, son. If you do it each day, you're building these habits, this homeschool thing. And what's the bottom line here? Like, what's the emotional anchor here? Like, why you should do this? Like, what's the point, right? The point, the goal is, do you want your son to learn to write newsletter faster, to write persuasive newsletter faster? Do you want him to learn public speaking faster? Do you want him to learn parenting faster? That's why homeschool is the best option, because you are learning from experts, not just teachers at school, right? Teachers, they won't teach you how to write persuasive newsletter. They won't teach you what to do when you compare yourself, what to do when someone is manipulating you. What will you do if someone belittles you? What do you do? What will you do if someone runs with you to you? So they won't teach that. So find expert to teach them about that, and it's you. It's your responsibility to teach your kids about this matter. That's why homeschool is the best option. That's the point here. The point is to let your kids learn faster from experts. So they learn faster, better. That's the point. And you're probably thinking right now, like, is public school a bad thing? Of course not. Public school is good if you don't know what career you would like to pursue someday. But for me, I'm a writer. I want my son to be a writer. Why? Because writing is thinking. This is how we educate ourselves, right? So, public school, if you don't have identity, if you don't know what you're doing, public school. Like, another one, are you okay with distractions? Are you okay with sugars, junk foods, see at the cafeteria? If that's okay for you, school is good. School is okay. School is okay for you. If you if you are not if you if if you are okay with being surrounded with bully classmates, bully teachers, classmates who cheats on exam, classmates who are noisy, classmates who are listening, classmates who are yelling, shouting, belittling you. talking back at you, gossiping about you. If that, if you don't care about that, so is public school okay? Yeah, but if you don't want those distractions, if you don't want those bullies, if you don't want those disrespectful classmates and teachers, public school is no, it's not a good option. Homeschool is the best because your home is the safest place, right? And you're probably thinking your son is one of your son excuse right now is like, why can't I go to school, public school? I mean, do you want to be surrounded with bad people, bad foods, or do you want not to learn writing faster? Tell him that. So what else? Another objection of Yusan is, but dad, I just don't have time. I work for 8 hours. I'm tired when I get home, tired when I get up in the morning. I just don't have time to teach my son. I don't have time to look for expert writer, expert public speaker, expert football player, coach. Nicholas Cole has a free YouTube channel. Let your son study at 2 p.m. One video per day. All Pro Dad has a free YouTube channel. Let him study at 3 p.m. Right? You just need to sacrifice 1 hour to enroll him to football training. You need 1 hour sacrifice to enroll him to a piano lesson, swimming lesson, basketball lesson. Sacrifice is a must. Sacrifice some few hours of your time. And if the one lesson of this letter is homeschool your son because he will learn specific like writing faster. He will learn writing faster from experts. So that's the point of today's letter, today's episode. Okay? And that's it. Thank you for choosing the thank you for choosing to homeschool yourself and homeschool your son. Right? Like whatever you do is you will do to your son. So thank you for choosing that and you made the right decision and you are on right track and you got this son. Because this is what I do. I homeschool myself. I study writing at 2 p.m. I study parenting at 3 p.m. and I write at 9 a.m. I write newsletter at 9 a.m. to educate you. And I film at 4 p.m. usually, but right now it's 8:10 in the evening right now. And thank you for listening. And the episode ends. So time to share few stories today. The reason why I film late because I went to the annual festival it was really fun. I really enjoyed the music, like every beat of the drums, like this. It was I really enjoyed. I enjoyed the drumming. I enjoyed the drumming than the dancing, and I just love the music, the drum, the piano. It's I just love the sound. And I met my classmates like Marie Joyce, Brent, Bambi, Galicia, and that's the first story today. Second story today is my niece, Micah. In the morning, I was hanging the clothes, and she was singing "Holy Forever," and I realized, wow, she memorized singing "Holy Forever" by Chris Tomlin because I have been singing that song for 2 months, 3 months now, 2 months, 2 months, 2 months now, and the power of exposure, the power of influence, like it came from me. It was a religious song, Christian song, and I just feel proud for her. Like whatever I do, they will copy it most of the time. So I play that song every morning like before I write, and I heard her singing that. I just feel proud for her, and it reminds me to be very careful for what I do, to watch my actions because my son are watching me, is watching me, my nieces are watching me, my nephew is watching me. Third story is choosing the wife my son deserves. And I since I went to the festival and I've seen many women who doesn't deserve my son to be the wife, like wearing so revealing clothes, wanting attention, and no, that's not my son deserves. That's not the wife my son deserves. And because choosing the best, choosing the wife my son deserves is the best, one of the most important decision I could ever make. Why? Because whatever she treats herself, she treats me, is how she will treat my son. So I don't want that. I want to choose a wife where she treats herself, with maturity. So choosing the right wife is important decision. And that's it for our episode for today. And I realized, okay, story 4, you sacrifice all the time. I mean, for example, today I sacrificed exercising, writing, reading, learning, reading a newsletter, studying, writing, studying, parenting. I sacrificed those. I lost those because I decided to go to the festival, and that's the cost I need to pay. So that's why it's important to I mean, to adapt. And today I made sure to write because this is my bare minimum. If I wrote a newsletter each day, that's how I know I have a good day. So today is a great day because I wrote a newsletter. Why? Because I wrote, I write to my son. I wrote newsletter to educate my son. And today episode ends and see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. son. Let me close the camera now.